Alright, we're going for round 2 here. I think we're good this time. Hello again, Joe. How's it look? How's it sound? I think everything's good. Goodness me. It's been quite a morning, my friends. Davis, Stefan, what's up? Alright, I think we're good. Good lord. Yeah, let me know if everything looks and sounds good. Cool, cool. Alright, let me get this post going. The good news is, I think I fixed the audio issue from previous streams where there was a delay. That should all be in real time. If it's not, I'm going to be really mad because I spent a lot of time fixing that. Alright, let me make a post real quick. Okay, there's the community tab deal. But yeah, I was stressing. I was already late for my regular start time. And then we had to restart. But I thank you all very much for being patient and being here, all 30 of you. Appreciate it very, very much. And we're going to get going in just a second while I post these to the relevant places. Happy Friday to you, Rules. Happy PTS Day, people. Year 5, Season freaking 2. Postman, what is up? Matthew, I'm doing fantastic. Thank you for being here. We got Admin Nova in the house. Solvent, what's going on? Alright. I'll just post this on Twitter. And we're good. I'm going to set down the phone and get to the game, which is why we're all here. So yeah, Season 2 PTS. Now, I took a bit of a different approach compared to the previous ones where I was kind of scrambling to make builds live. I actually made a lot of, I went through all of like the caches earlier this morning and kind of made the different setups that I wanted to make. So we can kind of just get to testing stuff a bit quicker. But as per usual, if there's any specific things that people want me to go over, I'm happy to. If you just want me to show off the new stuff, any specific changes, I've got a Exuro build on right now, which is the new Firecrest 2.0 deal. Constantine, what's up? You need to try the new SMG on Striker and Hunter. I was trying it on Hunter's Fury, and yes, it's very good. People were underestimating that thing like crazy on the patch notes video, you know, back from Wednesday. It's kind of insane. So we'll go over it. Thank you so much, Davis. I appreciate you saying that. Lucas, what's going on, man? Welcome, welcome. Sultan, awesome to see you. How you doing? Again, thank you all for being patient. I get very frustrated and flustered when there are technical issues, so appreciate you coming back after we had to restart, but we're all good. So I don't even know what to go over first. I guess let's just go over this, right? This is Firecrest 2.0, basically, but it does function a bit differently, as some people have already noted this morning. So if we pop into the shooting range here, well, let's go over I'm getting ahead of myself. Let's go over the set itself. Davis wants to see Perfectly Unstoppable Force. We will run that. This is the new set, which is Ortiz Exuro. 2-piece gives you 20% burn duration and 15% skill health. 3 pieces, 40% burn damage. And then the 4-piece gives you Ortiz Incinerator Turret Prototype, which now allows your Incinerator to spin 360. You're immune from your own turret's fire, and then it explodes when disabled. So to show that in action, that's not it. We can throw it out here. So it's unlike Firecrest in the first game where it would specifically target someone. It just spins, and it gets everything in a cone. Now I think my range might be on normal, so let's set that to... And when you Like you saw right there, when I disable it, it explodes like crazy. So let's take a look. Let me make sure it's on challenging. So even on challenging, it was doing decent damage, right? Let's go back now. And just for a reference to the build, I'm using, obviously, all pieces of Exuro, Ninja Bike to get the 4-piece, and I have 3-piece Empress to get the skill damage and the skill efficiency. So we've got good stats on this thing, right? That new gear said an overcharge. Yeah. Overcharging it. Well, okay, what's weird is that isn't the Incinerator's overcharge... What did it say? Oh, it just increased the cone angle by 200%. So that made it so it could basically spin. So this is kind of like overcharge without having to overcharge it? I don't know. I'm sorry, Richard. I'm sorry. Tech issues choose when they want to pop up. Welcome in all 60 of you, though. Appreciate you being here. Happy Year 5 Season 2 PTS Day. If you haven't already and you want to help with the algorithm and all that jazz, we're only 3 likes away from 20 likes. So this is on Heroic. That's pretty decent burn damage. I'm not even buffing it up yet with the capacitor or anything like that. We've got kinetic momentum going. There's the full skill damage. That's pretty solid. And for the range this thing has, I think that looks darn good. Goodness me. Well, first off, Matthew joined Rogue Studios. Thank you so much. And Richard right away dropped 10 gifted memberships going to Stefan, Rules, Nova, William, Patrick, Patchko, Robert, Ghost, Hand, and Tony. Richard, you're a legend as always, dude. Thank you so much for that. And welcome to Rogue Studios, everybody. Drop Richard a thank you down in the chat for being the legend he is. Got a ball in a few minutes. Life, you know. Well, I guess it's my life that you're always here being very generous. I'm very appreciative of it, man. Thank you. Thank you, thank you. So that's Exuro. And this isn't even like an optimized build, right? This is just something I put together with pieces I have on the PTS. If you use this with Technician, you could use it with the Artificer Hive. But let's go try it at a control point or something. Or maybe I should look at the other stuff first. Yeah, send Richard those thank yous, people. Everyone who got gifted one, welcome to Rogue Studios. And Richard is the MVP as usual. And Lucas coming in with the 1-year message like the GOAT he is. Lucas, thank you for always being here, man. Thank you for being part of the community. Truly appreciate it. Do you know if you're immune to the explosion or just the fire? Rules, that's a good question. Let's try it out. So if I put it right here. Fire you're immune to. And look at the range. It's here and it's hitting all of them easy. Let's see. It looks like you should be immune from the explosion, but I'll stand up this time just to be sure. Just to be sure. Oh no, I did take a little bit of damage from it, but it wasn't too much. That explosion looks dramatic. I don't really know how much damage it does. It just says it explodes. So yeah. And this is without any expertise on the turret. Like, this is a build where you're actually going to want expertise levels on your skills, which isn't always the most applicable, but absolutely here. So I'm liking it. We'll go out and test it later, but I guess now let's take a look at some of the other items. So that's that. What else do we got? Well, we have the new LMG. Should I just put that on here? Because it's fire-based as well. We have the Iron Lung, which I did just release a short on all of the new models there. Did it say 50k damage? I didn't see it. This is the Iron Lung, which is pretty sweet. I love how it has that dragon look. So that's pretty awesome. And it has Ardent, which is that while you shoot, you fill up a heat meter. Once it maxes out, then you're shooting fire ammo. Now, I'm still curious. It does come with two 10% crit damage mods, which is nice. So you get 20% off of that. And it does have damage to armor, so you're getting both of the multiplicative bonus there. So its mods and its stats are good. I still wonder, because LMGs themselves aren't always the strongest. And I wonder, because this has no damage-related things in its talent, if it's going to struggle at all to be viable. But let's take a look at how it kind of functions here. Does the orb... Oh, yeah. Monk, we'll take a look at the Ouroboros next. It is by far my favorite thing, and I told people it was going to be good, and everyone was like, oh, it looks kind of underpowered. That thing packs a punch. How do you get the new weapons? This is currently all on the PTS. I believe the Iron Lung and the Collector chest piece will be on the season track, and the Ouroboros will be in the Incursion. Alright, so let's, before we shoot at him, you see the heat meter building up on my HUD. It's the little dragon symbol that's going down now. So that's the heat meter, and until you fill it up, you won't get the fire ammo. But we'll fill it up right now. Actually, I should set it to a unkillable one. Now if I do it, now it's fire ammo. Anytime that perk is active, and it has that kind of cool, like, cooldown visual effect. Once you're done, fire ammo, all the way till the end of the mag, and then it cools off when you reload. So again, it's a cool gun in concept. Third attribute can be rerolled. Oh, good point. That's right, all the new ones can be. Yeah, so you can get it with damage to armor, and then you have both of those ones. It's a cool gun in concept, and I feel like there are applications where it will be good, but again, I do wonder, just because there's no damage-related things in the talent, if it's going to lack at all. It's kind of like the St. Elmo's, right? St. Elmo's is great because its mods and stats are good, and this has that, right? It has damage to armor, it has 2 crit damage mods. So we'll see. We will see. Almost 100 people in here, by the way. Thank you all for hanging out. Happy PTS Day. Checking out all the new stuff. My excitement about the Ouroboros. Do you plan to make a guide on the Incursion? Absolutely, Monk. I will. Hopefully I can beat it day one and make the guide like the next day, but yeah. If I delete one of my 4 characters on the PTS to use a new character, does it affect the real game progress? Ramon, there should be 0 correlation between the PTS and the main game. Anything you do on here shouldn't impact the main game at all, so yes, you can delete one. And if for some crazy reason it did, you could always contact UB support, and that's something they would totally reverse, because that's not meant to happen. Luke is in here. Dr. Frickin' Luke. GG's last night, man. Those are good games. I'm glad we got some lobbies going. Dracarys indeed, Broken. Is the Incursion like the Div 1 to 4 player matchmaking is an option? Yes, it's a 4-player activity with matchmaking. Richard's heading out. Richard, have a fantastic weekend, man. As usual, thank you for your kindness and generosity. I truly, truly appreciate it. Hope you have a wonderful weekend. So that is the Iron Lung. We'll save the best for last. Let's take a look at the chest piece that you get, or that is now available. We'll swap that. So this is the Collector, which is still going to have... Dang it. It's still going to have this issue. We want to actually see the thing. How can we fix it? Oh, there we go. Here's the Collector, which my resolution scale on here is terrible, but the pixelated effect there is really cool because it shows like a bomb blowing up. Again, it's really pixelated just because of my settings, but it looks a lot better. But yeah, cool design overall, all the little faces on the grenades. I have a feeling Palais went to town there. Can you play the incursion solo, or do you have to play with others? Well, we don't have access to it in the PTS, so I can't answer anything definitively. Incursions are intended to be 4-player activities, and typically the mechanics require more than one person. So we don't know for sure, but I would say you probably won't be able to solo it. Okay, so I didn't even read the talent. I'm getting ahead of myself. Let's get out of combat there. The Collector, weapon damage, crit chance, crit damage, comes with Hoarder, which is 3 grenade capacity, extra radius, extra damage, and extra damage per enemy caught in the blast. And then it kind of works like Tip of the Spear, where you generate grenades every minute, which is cool. So, yeah, we have 7 grenades right now. And if I swap to, let's swap off of the Flame Nade to just a Concussion. Did that not work, though? Okay, there we go. So it's supposed to give you extra damage per enemies in the blast. Yes, PTS is for public test server. Thank you, Ramon. I always don't know whether or not I should fully write that out, because sometimes it makes stuff long, but yes, PTS is public test server. We're testing out the new update for the Division 2 before it hits the live servers. So that's the gist. Alright, so here we have a fresh thing. Again, it's supposed to give you 25% damage per enemies in the blast. So in theory, it should absolutely one-shot this veteran. Maybe not the elite. But how many enemies can we count in this thing? At least 5? So it should be giving at least 125% extra damage, if not more. If I bump it over, can I get that guy too? Should be able to. Let's try that. Right about there. Pretty good. But again, that's with like 6 enemies in there, and you're not going to hit that regularly out in the world. The Collector is still the one that I'm the most skeptical of, as far as it being that good. I don't think it should, a lot of people have said this, I don't think it should have been on a chess piece, because the chess piece ones are supposed to be super powerful, because you can't then run one of your 2 talent slots on your build, right? So I feel like it should have been, yeah, someone said a holster, or even a glove, like, yeah, I feel like if this was on a different piece, it probably would be a lot better, because then you could pair it with Mad Bomber, but for it being a chess piece, I just don't really know if it's gonna hold up. Like, this will finish those off, but not even one of them. So yeah, I'm not sold on the Collector. Looks cool. Neat idea. I just don't know if it necessarily should have been a thing there. All right. Do we want to look at the Ouroboros next? So let me tell you, people. I was saying in the patch note video that I was the most excited for the Ouroboros, and it was warranted. This little guy. Let's take a look at him. This is the one you get from the Incursion, so it's going to be a lot harder to get than any other exotic we've had in quite a while. Comes with an Aaron Keener quote, which is pretty sick. And then SMG damage crit chance. Again, you can re-roll it now so you can get damage targets out of cover. It has the talent where you can basically absorb status effects and put them back out. The mods, you get 10% crit chance and 10% crit damage. So again, kind of like the St. Elmo's there, where it's giving you pretty solid mods. But look at the stats here. For a Vector, it's got a little drum mag, so it has a 50 mag, and its RPM is 1650. 1650. So, just to show you what that really feels like. This thing spits bullets. I mean, it is crazy. And this is even outside of the range of Hunter's Fury. And we're still dealing a lot of damage. So that's pretty insane. Yeah, everyone's like... Morton Ryberg's in the house. What's up, Morton? Have you tested the different status effects? I did earlier, not on stream, but I tested out shock fire. I want to do, like, the fact that you can get, like, riot foam bullets is pretty sick. But we will. We're going to run, I want to run this around. Someone said to try it with Striker, so we'll try that, I suppose. I mean, Hunter's Fury is good as well because then you get the disruption. I also didn't, I did get some Striker pieces, actually. So yeah, we'll try that. And Exuro, I want to go to, like, a control point and do that. The one thing I thought I'd show you guys, I'm sorry, Morton. I don't know if you guys left this in here on purpose, but the PTS does reveal the name, at least for now, it could change, the name of the incursion, which I'm going to put in a short later, but for the 125 people here in stream, you get an early sneak peek. It's in the leaderboard tab. Paradise Lost. That's a sick name. I love that name. Call back to the first incursion, which was Falcon Lost, and he said, oh no. It got leaked. Paradise Lost. And, you know, you're going to the Moray State. It's going to be this, like, super fancy environment. Paradise Lost, I think, is a pretty sick name. Again, it could change, so I won't say that's definitive, but that's pretty cool. We find those things, Morton. They're just, you know, we're resourceful. We go deep in the menus. So that's the Ouroboros. What else do we have to check out? We have the new brand as well, which is Langmo. 20% explosive resistance, 10% skill health, 15% LMG damage. I actually didn't realize it was 15. That's decent because usually they give you a 10 bump. So you get that nice little bonus if you go to the 3-piece. That would work kind of well if you did like if you did an Exuro build with the Iron Lung, right? Because you get the explosive resist when your turret blows up. You get the skill health for the turret. You get the LMG damage for the Iron Lung. That'd be pretty solid. How do they update Perfectly Unstoppable Force? You can now stack up to 7 times instead of 5. So you'd get, what, 35% damage. And if you get a grenade kill, then that ups it by 2 stacks. So that's how they did that. We can try it later. I don't have a build, like, set up with it yet, but we can definitely try it. How's the new update to Descent? I've not jumped into Descent yet. If we have some time, we can do that. I did see people get this. And also, Morton, I love you guys for doing this. They put in new talents, even some that weren't on the chart in the patch notes, because someone on Reddit posted that you can get the Regulus talent from Descent. You can get Regicide in Descent, which is, I don't have it in my menu. But that's the one that creates the explosion on headshot kill. That's going to be insane further on. That's going to be insane. Like, I'm actually super hyped to get Regicide in Descent. So we'll try and squeeze some time in to do a quick Descent run, see what the rewards are like. There are no new arenas, at least nothing that was in the patch notes, but they upped the rewards by a lot and added new talents. And then the other perfected talent down here is the Perfectly Mad Bomber. It increases the range and some of that stuff. Morton said, I'm a big fan of the lung design and it feels good to shoot, waiting on feedback on performance. Yeah, I'm definitely going to test it out more. I think my concern, and again, I haven't used it a lot, is just I wonder if the lack of any kind of damage on the Ardent talent might make it less viable. It could, like, if you gave it something like what Ongoing Directive has, where the fire ammo also amplified your damage by like 20%, then I think it would be super good. But I will definitely test it out and leave some feedback on that. So that's you know, on paper what this stuff is. But let's take it into the field, shall we? I have not run this yet. But let's go run this out on like a control point. This is the one I'm the most curious about. I mean, the Ouroboros is insane, and we'll run that in a minute. But this I'm excited to try out. Now, I can't get my perfect setup. I want to try it with the Artificer Hive, but I don't have the specializations on the PTS. I'd have to do the full unlock path, which I don't want to do. Unless it just gives it to you? No. How nice would that be if they just unlock the whole thing? So we can't use the Artificer, but let's run this on something. What would be a good... This would be a good one to do. So let's hit that. Postman, no grenade buffs, to my knowledge, so... Yeah, I don't know how much grenades are going to work out there. I mean, it would be a really nice build if you could pair the talent on the Collector with Mad Bomber, but they're both on a chest piece, so you can't do that, unfortunately. Alright, so we're going to level... We're just clearing this so we can level up the control point to 4. And then we'll try that. I'm just going to pop into cover right here. And watch them burn. It is very nice that you don't get affected by your own fire, because that would get bad pretty quick. You can still turn it off and on like you can on the regular one and preserve some of the duration, I think, or does it still go down? Maybe just not as much. Here, let me just pick it up, actually. So it's going to be a very nice, like, CC build. And I have ideas for where I want to use that I'll kind of explore more as the PTS goes on. Yeah. Bartos, thank you for hanging out. Have a great rest of your evening. But yeah, I think people are skeptical of Xuro because it doesn't have direct targeting, but I don't think it necessarily needs it to be really good. Again, assuming you use it in like the appropriate cases, right? Does the turret have a full cooldown? Not a full cooldown. I think it's like half. I don't know if it's doing it percentage based on how much duration you have left, or if it just gives you like half. But it's not the full cooldown. Alright, we're just going to drop this. If you put it up high, it does get things below, but I don't think it really aims up that much. So that's one thing to keep in mind. Alright, so this will take that control point to 4. And then we can go do it. The thing that will help circumvent the cooldown that like I said, I wanted to try is running it with the Artificer, because that resets the duration, right? Or it increases it at least. So I think that will be a very popular build, because you basically won't have to put it on cooldown until you're ready to move on to the next area. But the cooldown on this kind of a build right now is 42 seconds. I do have skill duration mods instead of skill haste, so that affects it. Do you think the new buffs to Descent rewards will make it more worthwhile? I think that's... a lot of people are very curious about that, so that'll be something we test out in this stream. I think we'll test out the new gear here, and then we'll do a Descent run to the Nemesis and see what we get, and you guys can kind of compare based... or, you know, compared to what we have on live. Yeah. Are we getting a weapon down the line that uses high velocity special ammo? Well, I guess high velocity wouldn't count, but the other thing to keep in mind for the Ouroboros, people were saying it wasn't going to be that useful in PvE. Anytime you put on the special ammo directive, you can soak in all of that status and put it back out. So I think there's going to be a lot of applications for it that people aren't necessarily fully realizing yet. I guess we'll just put this right there. And see how we do. So this is a heroic control point with Xuro, again, not a fully optimized one. Not the perfect way I would set it up if I had every piece I wanted. Let's pick it up, because they're mostly out of range. Oh, he's dead. If I get the turret up by the spawn closet, then we're going to start dealing... I don't think they'll be able to get out. That's kind of what I want to do here. Oh, okay, well... That was tough. They shot me right there. In Descent, the guaranteed caches remain the same. The buff is to extra caches, which include the reconstructed cache from the Nemesis.
Reinforcement complete.
So that's straight from Morden in the chat, everybody, is that the reward structure is the same, except now when you defeat the Nemesis, there's a big buff to the extra caches that you can get. I believe in the patch notes it went from 12 to 50, which is quite a lot. Alright, I'm trying to get up here so I can just throw the turret inside. I'm gonna hit these guys with some blind real quick. If I can. I can't look up enough to aim at him. Alright, now we should have this camp until the boss comes. I think this is where it's going to shine, is in missions, in summit, in control points, putting it where you know the enemies are going to walk out. I mean, they just can't even move. I didn't lock it on him there. See, he walked into the range right there. Now they're just going to back off. And there you go. I think it's going to be strong. Again, this isn't even like my full... If I had every piece I wanted, I would do it differently than how I have it right now. All bonus caches drastically improve drop chance. The reconstructed starts dropping from the Nemesis like always. Morden, can you clarify if it's bonus caches per every loop you complete? Or is it every 10 loops or something like that? Because I don't know if we ever got like a full breakdown of how cache distribution is handled in Descent. We know it's available, but at least off the top of my head, I can't think of how the distribution works. Ephraim, that is a great question. Let's go take a look at that right after this is done. I know the answer, but I think people are going to be happy with the answer, but I'll show you right after we clear this. And that is correct what Davis said. If anyone's asking, the incursion is not available on the PTS. They're keeping it as a surprise for launch day, which personally I'm on board with and very excited for, because I think that kind of content works really well when you get that surprise day one experience. Also, appreciate all 150 of you being in here. Hope you're enjoying. Thank you for spending time with me on your Friday. And if you haven't already, hit the like button. You want to support the stream of the channel, I would greatly appreciate it. But as always, if there's anything on the patch notes or anything new that you guys want to see tested or just see how it works that I haven't talked about yet, feel free to request. I'm happy to do it. Get hit in the back. It starts from loop 4, but not every loop, as there's quality increase their intervals. Gotcha. Thank you, Morton. And burn. I really like how Xero functions like that. In a sense, I mean, I understand why people want it to be like Firecrest from Div 1 where it specifically targets, but in a sense, I mean, I can lock down this entire choke point. So it's way better at area control than it used to be. It just doesn't quite have maybe the same direct damage marker. But in Div 1, you also couldn't spec into status effects, so in that sense, it's going to do way more, right, than what it did there, as far as burn duration and damage. It was all just dependent on skill power. Oops. Oh no. Oh lord. Well, that's tough. I think we get the idea though, right? Again, like I said, this isn't like necessarily the perfect build I would set up if I had everything, but Exura is pretty solid. That was on heroic. That was a heroic control point. So, all right, now I see someone already put the value in there, but let's go take a look at the DZ cache.
0.
And yes, that's a change I'm very excited for because that's going to add a whole lot of value to actually running the DZ the way it's meant to be ran, which it's been lacking for a while. For somebody who asked, the DZ cache does not include raid exotics, the Eagle Bear, the Ravenous, the Bighorn. It does not include those. It is the exact same exotic caches you can get from the Countdown vendor, the same pool. I agree, Matthew. Everything's looking really great here.
Whatever you're looking for, I've got it.
Reconstructed caches are pure luck after beating the Nemesis. The drop chance is now 50%.
What can I do for you, Agent?
So if you scroll down to the bottom of any DZ vendor stock here, 170 resources for an exotic cache. Some people thought it was going to be 2, 3, 4, 500. It's 170. That's really solid. That's really solid. And like I said, with the exotic component thing they added back in Season 10, with this change now, the DZ is just becoming more and more relevant in the endgame, which I'm over the moon about. I'm really happy it is. I hope they continue to do stuff like this, because this is stuff that gets, at least me, wanting to play the game more. Ever since we learned this was a thing, I've been doing actual DZ runs, where I do landmarks and supply drops and all of that, because it gives actual relevance towards doing those activities, right? And that's just a really, really good thing. Like, this is by far one of my favorite additions and changes this update. Well, and that's okay, Davis. I mean, the whole point of the DZ, in my mind, is that it doesn't even need to have a bunch of exclusive stuff to make it worthwhile. But because you're taking on the extra risk of PvP, it should be more efficient to farm than the open world, right? Doesn't mean you're not missing out on stuff, but all of that. It's your doing. Well, Morton, I hope you do more of that. Like I said, really, really good change there in my opinion. I'm also quite excited because I have probably 20,000, maybe not 20,000, probably at least 1,000 though, credits, DZ resources sitting in my stash that I haven't used since year 1. So when the update goes live, I'm just going to spend all of those in one go. Okay, so we tested Exuro. We've seen a lot of this stuff. Let's take a look at the Ouroboros in action, and then we'll do a descent run to see some of those rewards. Morden has kindly explained it in the chat, kind of the changes they made there, but we'll do a run. Plus, there's new talents, so we'll take a look at those. Like I said, you can now get Regicide, which is going to be insane in Descent. So yeah. So this is a Hunter's Fury Ouroboros setup that I put together. And like I said, this thing, it's really just the stats on this thing. The talent is nice, and I'm really excited for that in PvP, but that's not really applicable on the PTS. But just on its own, this thing is crazy. What can we do? What's a good control point for this? Something that's not completely out in the open, maybe. We could do one of these, probably. Let's hit that public execution and then do another control point with the Ouroboros. Monk really wants Striker with it. Do I have enough pieces for it? So, Monk, in your opinion, is Striker better than Hunter's Fury with it? Because I have not tried it. We'll clear this one with, how about this? We'll clear this one with Hunter's Fury, the public, and then we'll swap to Striker and then do the control point. That way we can see it in action both ways. Joe, random question. Did they add balaclavas to the Hunter masks? I don't have any on this character on this account, so I can't check. But at least based off of what Pally said a while ago, they wouldn't be retroactively be adding them to old ones, but if they were ever to make any new ones, then they would
Danger.
do it there. Now, keep in mind that this open world difficulty, until we get to the control point, I think is set on normal. You can't actually change it on the PTS, so I actually don't know what the open world difficulty is. But the control point, once we get to it, will be heroic. This stuff is probably normal or around there. So yeah. That said, I should probably still not play too recklessly.
Detecting additional hostile contacts.
Striker golden bullet in this SMG, right?
Detected. Nearby location guarded by hostiles.
Our servers will forever cry. Yeah, it's, I don't. Can the game even register it that fast? 1650 plus strike. Oh, I didn't even think that Striker's going to increase the base amount of it. Monk just wants to see how ridiculous the RPM will be. It'll honestly, it'll probably crash my machine. This thing is not that powerful. Yeah, plus golden bullet's going to be like 2,500.
Hostile control point detected.
All right, so that's level 4. Let's go set up Striker really quickly to see how insane it's going to be. And then we will do that. Yeah, so we'll run this control point, and then we'll jump into Descent. I am kind of excited to see those talents, and I know people want to see the rewards. So let's do a memento setup with the chest piece, of course. Let's just do all crit damage. What do I... Oh, I can run these. Oh, I never rolled this. All right, hang on. Gloves with damage, holster with damage. And then I should have materials to optimize. Let me just get that knee pad up really quick. Golden Bullet stresses the servers a lot and sometimes causes desync or disconnects. I don't, was it Trick that... I feel like Trick made Golden Blood way back in the day. And she was just like, have fun with that. Every time it comes on, it's going to be people's favorite. Alright. Do I want two? Let's just do 2 blues, because we're getting 100 stacks of damage. Actually, I have no mods on right now, right? How much crit chance do I have? 52? That's actually pretty perfect. So let's roll a blue here. Roll a blue there. People are asking about expertise 24. I do not know the answer for certain. I'm only, like, this character that I logged onto was flat expertise. I have none of that saved up. So unless Morton knows the answer for 24, I don't know whether or not we're going to be able to get to 24. You can see the amount of proficient items went up to 376. So you could compare that to what we have in game right now, and then do the math there. But unfortunately, I don't know the definitive answer. All right, do I want to leave it at 52? That's probably fine. And then another 11.8. Sweet. All right. Monk, if you crash my machine and the stream cuts out, I will blame you. Yeah, I'll check the RPM when I load in. Let's see what it says. $18.75. That's just a lot.
Control point identified.
There you go, Matt. So if you can compare that to whatever's in the live game, then you might know for sure about that. What was I just gonna look at? Oh, you can. So yeah, so you can do an RPM bump like that, or I also try to set up with True Patriot. It takes the mag size to 65 on a vector with 1650 RPM, which is a pretty solid bump. So, you know. Yeah, the Ouroboros is absolutely what I'm most excited for. All right. It's almost like... All right, so now we're going to get fire ammo because we got hit by that. I might die here. This is honestly not the best position.
Castillo is consumed by his grief.
Okay, okay, okay. I'm confused. I'm right. See, now... I don't think the game will even know what status to give me because I just picked up like 50 things. Honestly, this was kind of... I should have just backed myself into that corner. Oh, goodness me. All right, let's reload. So you can see down on the HUD is the marker that shows you that you have ammo. It doesn't show up on the gun like normal. So I hit him with riot foam bullets, which is awesome. I love that that's a thing. Because that was the last status I got hit by. Alright, one of you has to peek. Even the range on that thing. Plus you have reload speed on the mag, and so it's got a really quick base reload speed, and with Striker we're getting the extra weapon handling. So just all around, this thing is... I mean, look at that range. Look at that range. I want to get back up here so I can actually just go where the boss is going to pop out. Shield absorb the damage. There we go.
Reinforcements incoming.
Now they're coming out in here. Let's see how much we can hold that. Problem with the chest piece, and I have this on live too, is I just can't really hold it at 200 that much. Which is why I like Obliterate, because it kind of acts as like a secondary meter there that will consistently fill up. But look at that. So now, when I reload, I'll have riot foam bullets.
Identification confirmed.
Agent, got a location on Major Castillo. DCD headquarters. Proceed with caution.
It's pretty insane. I think it's pretty awesome. Gotta go make salty caramel smoothies for the fam. Morton, enjoy. I'm kind of hungry after you said that. Thank you as always for giving us your insight on things. Really appreciate it.
Incoming hostiles detected. Rogue agent detected.
Rogue agent detected. So I think you guys get the idea, right? This thing is pretty insane. I think it's a worthwhile reward for the
Agent, got a location on Major Castillo.
what's it called?
Proceed with caution.
Incursion. Yeah, it's just pretty crazy. Matthew, the name is on the leaderboard. We looked at it earlier, but I will show it again as soon as we beat this. I love the name. I think it's incredibly fitting and awesome.
Heavily armored.
As soon as we kill this boss, I will show you. As always, people, if I miss your chats, I apologize. We got a lot of people in here, almost 200. So feel free to resend anything I miss or any questions you have. Yeah, this thing is insane. I'm in love. I'm 100% in love. Name of the incursion. That's not the right spot. You can see it down here. There's also, I mean, you can see a glimpse of artwork there. It always shows part of the environment, right? The Descent one shows the White House thing in the Nemesis room. The Raid shows the Dark Hours thing. I can't really make out what we're looking at in that incursion picture there, but you can see it there. Paradise Lost is the name of the incursion, which is pretty tight. Call back to the very first one of Falcon Lost, Paradise, because it's the Murray estate. I love it. I'm in love. I think I am too, Johnny. Lucas coming in with the 5 gifted membership. Going to Davis, Morton, Javier, Hermes, and Derek. Lucas, thank you so much, man. You know I greatly appreciate everything you do around here. That is super kind of you. Everyone who is gifted a membership, please drop Lucas a thank you in the chat. Thank you so much, man.
Supply room access.
What effect does the Hyena Rusher Cloud put on the Ouroboros? It gives you confused bullets, kind of like what or disorient, like what the Banshee Pulse does. That's what it would do.
Good, Agent.
Any new commendations? I have not looked, but let me take a... you would think they'd put a few new ones for the incursion, but I don't think we've gotten any in a while. So I'm not sure. By the way, I didn't fully realize this because I have all the blueprints on my live character, but control points give you blueprints now. Like every time you do one for the daily reset, which is pretty tight. I think they added that last season and it just kind of went under my radar because, like I said, I don't... I already have all of them. Commendations. I don't know where I would look. Summit, crafting. Some of those are classified. Demolition. I think it's going to be hard to tell if there's new ones until it kind of goes live. Javier dropped a thank you. And yeah, to everybody who got a membership from Lucas, welcome to Rogue Studios. Glad you're here. You get some cool icons in the chat, some emojis, a badge next to your name. And if you join our Discord server and link it with your YouTube account, you now have access to the exclusive Rogue Studios channel in there. I don't know if there's new accommodations is the answer to that question. I'm not sure. All right, we're about an hour into the stream. Does anybody have anything else they want to see from the big changes aside from Descent? Because in my mind, that's where we're headed next, is to do a Descent run. There was incursion related third from the top. Of which category? That's invasion. Operations, that's raid. Armor. Liberation. Oh, the invasion one? Yeah, yeah. Do we know when the incursion will be released on live servers? When Year 5 Season 2 goes live, which does not have a locked date, but Year 5 Season 1 ends on October 3rd. So that's my best guess for when Season 2 will drop is October 3rd, and whenever it goes live, the incursion will be with it. Tip of the spear. Good point, good point, good point. It's kind of like, I don't even know if it's really worth putting a build together and doing, because essentially it functions the same, but it's just kind of worse. Like, I don't know if that's really fair. To be fair, I haven't like really fully dived into it yet. But let's put it on so we can at least see the text better. What it does is, instead of giving you that damage period for a minute, you now get, if you get a kill with signature weapon, it gives you 15% extra damage for that for 5 seconds and 25% reload speed for the next one. And they don't stack, but you still regenerate every 60 seconds. The mods on the SMG, yes, I can. Do we know where the incursion is set? Other than it being at the Murray estate, we know that. It's not on the map anywhere. I looked here and in New York, and the incursion doesn't have a node. So for now, we don't know like where it's going to be on the map. But it's at the Murray estate, which is out in the countryside somewhere. Those are the mods for the Ouroboros. Padrone joined Rogue Studios. Thank you so much for that. Very appreciated, my friend. Welcome, welcome. All the same things I just said with the emojis in the Discord. Also, we just passed 100 likes. Thank you all so much. Super, super appreciate it. Thank you all for hanging out. So, tip of the spear. I think it kind of, like, the new functionality will be better for something like the minigun compared to previously. It works really well with, like, the 50 cal. But I think it's kind of just a lateral shift. Right? I don't think this necessarily makes it super better. I don't think it makes it notably worse. It just kind of shifts the priority towards more faster firing spec weapons compared to the sniper. Flip the incursion. Once it gets added, it'll be there forever. It's like a new raid, basically, but it's different, of course. It's not just during Season 2. So yeah, I don't think it's necessarily worth testing out Tip of the Spear right now because it's basically the same. It's kind of shifted the priority. But this is an interesting amplification talent because you get 50% weapon damage, which is a lot. Solvent coming in with the 5 gifted as well. People are just going crazy right now. Going to Peter, Casey, Tyrant, Mark, and Marcus. Welcome to Rogue Studios. Drop Solvent to thank you down there. And my friend, thank you so much for that. I feel really guilty because I haven't been able to stream as much. I still have some technical issues I've been sorting out, evident by the stream this morning. But every time I come back, you guys are always incredibly generous and kind to me, and I truly appreciate that. So, Solvent, thank you so much. Everyone drop him a thank you. The chest piece buff is what I'm most interested in because if you deplete your spec weapon, you get 50% damage for 15 seconds. So there's potential, like, my favorite spec weapon is the minigun. I love running around with that thing, just mowing people down. I don't know why people say it's not good in the end game. I use that thing on Heroic. It shreds hunters. It shreds a lot of stuff. And so for something like this, where this pertains a lot more to the minigun, plus I can then get 50% damage when I swap back, that's probably what I'm most interested in when it comes to the rework. But it makes stuff like the sniper a lot worse. So it's kind of a weird shift. Anonymous, this is Tip of the Spear. They've reworked it in this update, and this is the new amplification talent on there. Do you need to be level 40 to access the PTS? Access, no, but I think unless you're not level 40, then it won't give you a maxed out character, and you would have to level it up. I think. I don't know that for sure, but I think that's the deal. 'Cause I think you can get level 40 to access the PTS. Access, no, but I think unless you're not level 40, then it won't give you a maxed out character, and you would have to level it up. I think. I don't know that for sure, but I think that's the deal. 'Cause I think you can get level 40 to access the PTS. I don't know that for sure, but I think that's the deal. 2-month streak. Let's go, Ghost. Yeah, Solvin, thank you so much for that. All of you guys are truly the best. I'm super appreciative. So that's Tip of the Spear. But let's get to Descent, shall we? I want to do a Nemesis run, give it enough time, so let's do that. Because if people want to see the rewards, and I want to see the new talents. After True Patriot? Oh, I'm sorry, I missed it. There is a new gear set, which is Exuro. It's kind of got a fire symbol.
Shade tech prohibited.
And it's kind of like Fire Chris 2.0.
Deactivating shade protocols. Entering combat simulation program. Safe area entered. Simulation activated.
All right, so we're doing this to take a look at the new rewards and the new talents. So let's get it. I'm already full there. I'm going to use my same strat that I use on when I'm doing my weekly Nemesis run, which is just to do all easy rooms to get to the Nemesis in 5 loops.
Hostiles constructing. Hostile spawn from highlighted doors.
First time seeing Descent. Oh yes, the Nemesis has an arm patch. You can also get patches for doing the leaderboard runs. By the way, I assume someone would have pointed out if it was present, but for anyone who was here for past streams, the audio desync is fixed, right? Is all the audio synced up correctly?
Console available.
Beautiful. That makes me very happy to hear. Thank you for confirming. The arm patch, the Nemesis one, you get from defeating the Nemesis. Oh, look, we already got a new talent. Sadist. Which actually, well, that's actually probably pretty... for a utility? Hang on. It's in a utility slot? Yo. I got ahead of myself. The Nemesis patch you get from defeating the Nemesis solo, I believe it should be in groups too, but one or the other, or both. And then you get leaderboard ones for going every 10 loops. So at loop 10, you get a tier 4 one, loop 20, tier 3, 32, 41. And that resets every season. Like there's new patches for those leaderboard spots every patch. This is actually insane that this is on a utility slot. Like that's going to be a new go too, because every 2 kills you get a bleed. And that's just free damage. What do you want me to do in my menu here? There we go. All right. Now the game's happy. Sadist plus Eyeless. Yeah, and then you get... Then if you get Vindictive, Trauma, like that's going to synergize really well.
Hostiles constructing. Hostile spawn from highlighted doors.
I beat the Nemesis and didn't drop. If you did it at the start of the season, there was a bug with it that I believe is now resolved. You can check on the known issues board. Originally, I think it wasn't giving it to people who did it either in groups or solo. It was one or the other, and I can't fully remember. But that should be resolved now.
Serious trauma detected. Console available.
These are all the same. Let's just take Braced. You're solo. That might have been it. You can check on the known issues board. I believe it was on there. And if you don't see it in like the current tabs, then it's probably in the fixed live one, and that means it was taken care of.
Room selected. Difficulty rating easy. Hostiles constructing. Hostile spawn from highlighted doors.
All right. Also, by the way, I didn't show this to people earlier. There are... Oh, I can't see it in here. But there are new collectibles for the incursion. There's 10 comms that we can pick up from the incursion. I saw that earlier. Michael, I'm doing fantastic. It was a bit of a rough morning. The stream had some hiccups getting started up, as people saw. But doing very good now. How are you? But then everyone showed up and started being awesome like they always are, so, you know. It's been a good time.
Hostile construction initiated.
Oh boy. You know, reloading is generally a pretty good idea. But if I'm ever looking to challenge myself extra, I just don't do it. Wait, weren't there like 3 of them over there? That's weird. I thought there was like 4 more guys. It'd be cool if Toussaint would let you switch between Isaac, Anna, and Diamond. It would be, although I think the reason why we've never gotten an AI switch thing is because that would take a lot of VO work to go back and redo like every line.
Difficulty rating. High value target.
That said, it is something I am pretty much expecting we'll see at some point in the future of the Division. I don't know if it's going to be Division 2 or if we get a Division 3 down the line, but they've put such prominence on Anna and now Diamond that it seems almost inevitable that someday we're going to be able to switch. And that'll be very cool. Get back here. Hello. I'm losing so many frames right now. Oh, whoa, 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 whoa. Relax, people. We're on the PTS. You're not supposed to actually challenge me. Didn't want to use my kit, but that's better than dying. The fact that I took no damage talents probably didn't help me there. I'm really hoping we get Regicide as the exotic offering here because I'm telling you, man, that's going to be a game changer on high loop runs. Oh, there we go. People make this look easy. I might just try Descent. Because of the Hunters. There are no Hunters in Descent. You can fight rogue agents later on, and the Nemesis has like the AI of a Hunter. But there's no Hunters themselves. Dang. No Regicide. We'll take Plague. Regicide is the one on the Regulus, and so when you hit a headshot, it creates a huge explosion that deals a lot of damage to everything around it. And there's no cooldown. So it's going to be insane, like actually a game-changing to have in Descent. Let's take a shotgun for sure. Usually I do the boss ones, but if it's only like 2% heat gauge, I shouldn't do it. 3. I can stretch that. The reason I'm contemplating, if anyone doesn't know, I'm trying to make sure I get on average 20% heat gauge per loop.
Entering new room.
That way I can fight the Nemesis after 5 and I don't have to do a 6th one. But we'll do one of these. That was lucky. Come on, Plague, chunk him. There we go. They added pummel as well. They did, which is also going to be insane for shotgun runs, which is what I usually do when I do a high loop run. They added a lot of good talents. There's In Sync, that's another new one. Also in the utility slot again. So if you use like a striker drone, that would be really good. Level that up a lot. Yeah, some good stuff for sure. No save and return feature yet, which is still, in my opinion, the #1 needed thing. But adding more talents and better rewards doesn't hurt.
Difficulty rating. Easy.
I still do really wish we had one more tile set.
Constructing hostile combatant.
Like, so we have this one, which is like DARPA themed. Then we have the Potomac bunker themed one. It would have been really cool if we got like a government building themed one. Spaces that were modeled off of like the museums or the Capitol building. You know? I feel like that would have been a really fitting and really cool third tile set. It's not impossible we couldn't get it in the future, but it seems unlikely at this point. But I think that would have been really cool.
Console. Available.
That's a tough pick, but I'll take Vigilance because we need some more damage. We're getting pretty good talent so far. Should be able to take out the Nemesis without too much trouble.
Entering new location. Difficulty rating. Easy. Hostile.
So yeah, we still have the rewards to see here, but given everything else we've looked at so far, what are people's thoughts on the update? The contents, the new items. Obviously, also we don't have the incursion, but we've looked at just about everything else there is to look at. What are people thinking?
Console. Online. Supply station. Available.
Definitely excited for the Ouroboros going to trap perfectly unstoppable for. I forgot to do that. Yeah. If there's time at the end, Davis, I will do that. Being able to reroll the exotic. Oh, in Descent? Yeah, that would be nice. I agree. Like, for a high cost, that would be fair.
Entering new room. Difficulty rating. Easy.
Very elaborative feedback there, Kuroga.
Construction initiated.
Think it's going in the right direction. Yeah, I mean, you know, Season 2 is still going to have the same problem as Season 1, where a month and a half in, there's going to be less to do, and people are going to be kind of waiting for Season 3. But I think it's going to be a really solid update. And I think almost for sure, the Incursion will be more universally liked than Descent. Some people absolutely love Descent. Some people completely hate it. And some people are just kind of indifferent. Whereas I think, obviously, some people are not going to like the Incursion, but on a broad stroke, given some things I've heard, I think a lot of people are going to really like it. And given it has the incentive like the Ouroboros, I think it's going to keep people playing it for quite a while. Shock and Awe is another new one. Playing a status does that. I'm going to reroll. Take another thing, a critical. So we're already seeing these new talents in here. May show off the Tommy gun and the AR. Yeah, I forgot that, Ramon. That's a good point. I will when I back out. Kix, we just checked that out earlier. It is 170 DZ resources, which I think is a lot lower than what people were expecting, and I think it's going to create a really good incentive and loop to play the Dark Zone once Season 2 is live.
Constructing. Hostile spawn from highlighted doors.
Leonardo, thank you so much for the kind words, and I'm super glad you're here. Thank you, thank you. You guys are always incredibly kind, and I really, really appreciate that. Like I said earlier, I was quite flustered this morning because of all the tech issues, so the fact that everyone stuck around and is now here, we've had 150 people for quite a while, means a lot. Thank you. Scotty, what's going on, man? Happy Friday. Happy PTS day. Plague is super nice in here. There we go. I will grant, I've already been doing DZ runs to get credits. The fact that you can get the highest percentage of exotic components from those chests, plus the fact that you can now use resources on caches, I'm going to be rocking DZ way more when Season 2 is live.
Biohazard activated.
Can't wait for all this new content to go live. Me too. I mean, I'm looking forward to this weekend because I finally have a lot of like really definitive video ideas that I want to do. But yeah, it's all good stuff. I don't really want any of this, to be honest, but I'll take a booster. It doesn't hurt. Buy another one of those. Fire hazard, we can deal with that. Yes, we are on the PTS right now for Season 2. And like I said, I think this new incursion is going to be very fun, very attractive for a lot of people. It's not going to have infinite replayability, of course, but for those first few weeks, I think a lot of people are going to be jumping in there. And I really hope that it sets the stage for that activity to become kind of more core to the endgame after Season 4 and the DLC. As far as us getting more of them in Year 6, if we do get a Year 6. Like, definitely. Grant, that's what I'm looking for. I saw that they added Regicide, and I think that's going to be pretty insane. So I hope I get it, but it looks like I might not, because I'm already past Loop 1. Umbra Ouroboros has 2,064 RPM. And think about, Morden was saying earlier, think about that with Golden Bullet. That's insane. How challenging do you think the incursion will be? It's a very good question, Dylan, because I've been thinking about that myself. I don't know what sort of difficulty structure they're going to use for the incursion. Div 1 had it where there were 2 different difficulties for it. The raids in Division 2 only have 1 difficulty, at least for like the main mode of normal. I don't know if they're going to give the incursion like a challenging and heroic options, if it's going to be a fixed difficulty. I don't know how they're like the meta and the power creep in the game has changed a lot since Iron Horse came out, which is the last like comparable type of content. I don't know how they're going to adjust for power creep and all the crazy builds we have now. So the simple answer is I don't know how challenging it's going to be, but I'm very curious to find out and how they're going to structure that.
Room selected. Difficulty rating easy.
I know, me too, Johnny. I want to see it. want to see it.
Hostiles constructing. Hostile spawn from highlighted doors.
Yeah, Regulus in Descent is going to be insane. Eyeless is in utility. Did they? Was it in offensive before? It makes sense since they put Sadist in utility. So yeah, that's going to be crazy. Any damage talents that they put in utility just means even more total damage output because you can basically get more than 6.
Console available. Supply station available.
Let's just do that.
Entering new room. Difficulty rating easy. Activating poison gas simulation. Constructing hostile combatant.
Michael coming in with the freaking $10 super chat. No message, no nothing. Just straight up love. Thank you so much for that, man. I feel like I say it every time, but you are incredibly generous and kind to me, and I greatly appreciate that. And what you do to support my content, man. Thank you, thank you.
Console available.
How many levels are there in Descent? It is endless. You go until you die. I want to say the highest that anyone's gotten on the live servers, at least that I've seen on the leaderboards, is like, here's Efficient. That's another new one. I'm going to take that over Insulated. Actually, over Adrenaline. Efficient will be very good. It's infinite. I think the highest I've seen on live is like 250 loops of people who are crazy and want to go that far. But it gets pretty hard after, you know, a bit.
Gas hazard activated.
Some really nice people in here. That's what I'm saying, Davis. Best community on YouTube as far as I'm concerned.
Hostile spawn from
Always got people supporting and just creating an awesome community. Bloody legend indeed. Yeah, thank you, Michael. And to all the people who gifted memberships and all the people who are just hanging out. You're all the best. Where was the other door? Is it up here? No, it was over there. Oh, he got the kid off. Descent is a solo player only. It's not solo only. You can do it with a group. But it scales depending on your group, so you can do it either way and you'll get a great experience. And then Michael coming in with the 5 gifted. My goodness. Going to Kuroku Grant. No something. Darth and Batman. All 5 of you, welcome to Rogue Studios. Be sure to draw Michael a thank you in the chat. And Michael, out of words, man. Thank you so much for the support you continually show me. Appreciative beyond words, man. Goodness me. This is what happens when I don't stream for so long. Everyone jumps in and is just going crazy. I am really sorry, by the way, for the lack of streams. Believe me, I have wanted to. I'm still sorting out some tech issues from the Switch to the PC. But my hope is that by the time Season 2 goes live, it'll all be back to normal and we'll be back to like regular weekly streams. But yeah. It's raining memberships. That's what it seems like. That is what it seems like. Harry says, Rogue is my goat. You know, Harry, you're my goat. People are just too nice, man. I don't know what to think about it. It still shocks me pretty greatly that I just get to go on and play a game I love and talk about it and give my thoughts and people want to hear it. But here we are. All right, let's do... RPK would be a good pick. But I think I want to do this instead. Ninja Bike Umbra Striker has Ouroboros 2325 RPM. Constantine's just trying to push it to the max. That's insane, dude. That is crazy.
Entering new location. Difficulty rating easy.
Thank you, Davis. Well, trust me, it's not a matter of me not wanting to. If it were up to me, I'd be streaming every week. The PC that I switched to is fantastic, but it's had some instability issues, and I don't like the idea of streaming with the thought of it could crash at any moment. You know, that's not an optimal viewing experience. So I'm doing my best to get it sorted out. And like I said, by the time season 2 is live, I should have it all fixed. Ooh. Have fun with that. What you doing over there?
Console available.
I see people talking about crossplay. Oh, so what's the... Let's see. So upgrading efficient gives you more chance for it to restore it, but it has a 10-second cooldown, which they've added, so that's interesting. I think everyone's talking about crossplay. My stance on it... How much does this give me? 2? Wait, how much do I need? I'm on loop 4? Was that my first room? I think it was, right? Yeah, I can do this. I will always advocate for crossplay because friends who want to play together on different platforms should be able to. However, because of the issue with cheating on PC on any game, by default, it should only match consoles together. And then if a console player wants to play with their PC friends, then they can do it, and they will be put into a PC-only lobby. But it doesn't go the other way. I think that's the best way to do crossplay, because the benefits of crossplay are amazing. You get better player populations, you get to play with your friends, but you don't want to force people who typically don't have to deal with cheating experiences into that for no reason, right? So in my opinion, that's the best way to do it, is to match console pools by default, and then if a console player wants to play with a PC player, they can do it on their own terms. You're dead.
Console active.
Let's do another vigilance. Gotta start getting some damage talents in here before we hit the nemesis. But I still do need to get heat gauge, so we can't go with the red yet.
Activated. Entering new location. Difficulty rating medium. Constructing hostile combatant.
I'm hoping I get another good LMG option after this loop, because I kind of need a better one than gray. Just like that.
Online. Supply station online.
And we got trauma. Here's another new one, salvage. Ooh, killing a target has 20% chance to refill the magazine. Ooh. Ho 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 ho. Well, would you look at that? This is actually a way that you could avoid using bullet hell, at least for me. Because whenever I see bullet hell, I'm just like, I have to have it, right? But if I could upgrade salvage to where it's a 60-70% chance to refill, that would be quite good. I do need trauma, so let's take it over Sadist, because that's not actually going to help me against the Nemesis. And at this point, we just want to make sure we beat the Nemesis to see the rewards. But yeah, salvage is pretty sweet to have there. Overall, great talent, rebalancing and talents added, I think.
Electrical hazard activated. Room selected. Difficulty rating easy. Constructing hostile combatant.
Powerbomb, what's up, man? How you doing? Happy Year 5 Season 2 PTS Day. Where are they? Am I blind?
Console active.
How is it so far? Pretty good. I mean, anyone else feel free to jump in, but I think the majority of stuff we've seen, people have been pretty happy with. The True Patriot, or the Tip of the Spear one, rather. I think everyone kind of agrees that it's not that exciting. It's just that kind of lateral shift that we were talking about. But Exuro is awesome. I really like it so far. The Ouroboros rocks at a 1650 RPM on a Vector with a 50 mag.
Electrical hazard.
The exotic chess piece is a little lackluster, but the LMG is cool.
Room selected.
We're checking out the descent changes and rewards right now. The DZ exotic cache has a great cost ratio to the gain stuff, so really solid stuff, I think. Did you test out PvP stuff? You know, I did not look at the range on the Stinger Hive, but we can do that right after this, because I do want to see that. That's the only noted PvP change, I believe, that was stated. I mean, we have the new exotic cache, which we checked out. But that's not really a PvP change. But yeah, we can take a look at the... Stinger Hive range after this. Because it got reduced by 30% in PvP. Yeah, I agree with Davis. The Ouroboros is the star of the show. Which I said it was going to be. And everyone was like, I don't think it looks that good. I'm like, you just wait. And yeah, it looks pretty sick. But so far, the talents they've added to Descent are really good. And there was even some not listed on the patch notes, like you can get Regicide as an exotic one now, which is awesome. So, yeah. I can't target his ammo box. Want to get those plague stacks on the boss that he just goes down on his own. Oh, don't res somebody. We don't need that. We don't need none of that. Falling behind on chat. Excited to get behind that incursion. I know it's gonna be really. I'm honestly really happy with the fact that it's not on the PTS, because that day one experience is gonna be epic. Everyone jumping in, seeing how it is. That's gonna be awesome. Sorry, just scanning over chat, seeing what people are talking about. All right. None of those are great. But the M1A could be nice against the Nemesis, so I'll take that. I like not knowing about the incursion. Yeah. Yeah, it's gonna be sweet. I'm really excited for that day one stream, because I'll be streaming it. Because I wasn't, well, actually, when was that? 2020. I was making videos when Iron Horse came out, but I had however many subs back then, like 1,000 something. And I wasn't streaming or anything, so it was just a whole different experience from what we can do now. It's going to be really fun.
Console active.
Appreciate it, Shade. Yeah, it's going to be fun. The change on the Stinger will change anything? I don't know. 30%. It'll help a little bit with people trying to put it through walls to hit you. I mean, it doesn't hurt. I'll put it that way. I'm fine with them reducing the range on it. I mean, to begin with, when they said they were going to change it, I thought that it wasn't necessarily all that needed. I don't think it's that problematic, honestly, compared to some other skills and statuses. So yeah, a range change won't be that impactful, but it also won't hurt. Hey, we got efficient there. We got the armor kit back. Oh. That was rude. Let Plague do its work while I'm not even shooting.
Console active. Supply station activated.
Hot take, make it not bleed until tier 3. That would be a very interesting implementation. That's kind of the thing, and one of the many reasons why I hope we get a Division 3 one day. There's so many ideas like that would be really cool to see, that I just don't think they can do at this point because of how baked the game's code is, how much, everything is. Because, one idea that I gave when they made the jammer change in Season 11 was that the jammer shouldn't destroy skills unless it's a certain skill tier. And Morton basically said we can't do that. Just that's the way it's it's worked into the code. It's just not really feasible to change it that way. And that's the kind of stuff that if they were to make a Division 3, that's where you could make those changes, is where different skill tiers have different functionalities. It's not just stats, like... So yeah. So I agree that that would be a cool thing to see, but probably won't happen.
Console active.
Future Perfect, another new talent there. Oh, you can actually, so you can get overcharge in Descent now. I could see people using that a lot in high loop runs if you got a healer or someone else. I could see that for sure. We only need 1%, so let's take the 2 reds. Get the most amount of damage talent. Actually, this one's 2 reds as well. I'd rather do the easier room. I don't need more credits at this point.
Room selected. Difficulty rating easy. Hostile construction initiated.
Yeah, Vi, that's why we're in Descent right now. We're checking out the changes. So they've updated the rewards. Well, I can explain that more when we get there. And then they've added new talents. So mainly people wanted to see what the rewards look like. But we've seen some of the new talents pop up. And that's what we're taking a look at. Alright, I gotta be careful.
Console active.
Rifleman, another new one. Oh, but it's not... Oh, I didn't even think about it not being limited to rifles. Landing headshots add stacks of 5% weapon damage. Oh, I'm absolutely taking that. That's crazy good. Definitely some really good talent additions here.
Room selected. Difficulty rating high value target. Hostiles constructing. Hostile spawn from highlighted.
All right, last room here before we get to the Nemesis. The formulation of good and bad talents. Definitely like the stuff you're looking for the most, yeah. Efficient is now like a go-to defensive one. I think Rifleman, at least for, I know not everyone always goes for headshots, but I usually do, so Rifleman's really good for me. Oh, okay. Did not mean to bomb myself there. Not the best idea. I was whiff and a half. Yeah, if you had Rifleman with bullet hell against the Nemesis, it's game over. And Trauma, it's gonna be beaming. Get that turret out of here. Oh, I'm not reloaded. Yeah, walk away a little bit, please. There we go. ACM, what's going on? How you doing? No second exotic talent. Well, we know that Regicide is in here, but we did not get it. Alright, Nemesis time. Initiate Nemesis encounter. Morphe, what's going on? How's it going? Oh, I should have put that on the other gun, probably. That's alright. Doing quite well, ACM. Been a very awesome stream so far. Thanks to everyone being in here. So, used to never watch Div 2 content at all. Appreciate the effort you put into your content. Adam, I appreciate you saying that. I definitely try hard to make it worthwhile to watch my stuff, so glad you feel that way. Yeah, thanks for being here.
System malfunctioning.
Why, hello there, Nemesis. I've been waiting for you.
Rogue blinder firefly detected. Hostile blinder firefly detected.
What I've noticed is that they'll copy your skills, but not this specific variant. Like he had a blinder right there instead of a whatever it's called, and then he had a explosive sticky instead of the jammer. You got the maximum plague stacks on. That was like a pop shot snipe. That was kind of crazy. Jeez.
Medical assistance needed.
There we go.
Simulation terminated. Collating data.
There we go. What was your biggest stream ever? Depends on how you define big. I think the most concurrent people I had was Ubisoft Forward a year ago in September of 22. Most viewed was the Year 5 Season 1 PTS with the Descent run. So yeah. Alright. The new talents in Descent have been very good. ACM, there's stuff like, we got a few of them here. Efficient is now in, that's a pick. They put Sadist in the utility slot, which is really, really good. If you're doing a high loop run, that's a must. Rifleman, solid. And they added Regicide to the exotic pool, which is going to be insane. I really want to get that. So, all right, so I'm going to back out so we can see the rewards. The way I want to explain this the way that Morton did when he was in here earlier. What they've done is not changed the reward structure, but rather there used to be a bonus, how would you say it? Like a bonus percentage chance to get certain caches after a certain loop. So he said after loop 4, there's always been a bonus chance to get extra caches. And once you defeat the Nemesis, there's even more. And it used to be 12 and now it's 50. And that includes stuff like reconstructed caches, exotic caches. So if I were to go on way, way longer, then I would presumably get more bonus caches. We're not going to have as many right now, but yeah. So let's back out and see what we got. Done the Nemesis dirty. I've gotten pretty good at it because they're adding those weekly comms every Tuesday. I just jump in there, do my 35-minute run, get the comm, and, jump out.
How did the field test go?
The one in Manhattan or South America?
South America.
Good. We've infiltrated the cartel and believe believe we should have a basic outline of the infrastructure in a month.
Excellent.
This is already a comm from the live game, so I'm not going to listen to that. Everyone saying kind things in the chat, I appreciate it. So we got these 3. There might be more in the stash. Oh! Well, there you go. We got 3 exotic caches from doing the Nemesis, plus a reconstructed and a simulation. Compared to what it's normally like 6 with 1 exotic and some regular like field proficiencies. So that's good. Like I explained, that's not going to be every time because it's a percentage chance you have to get additional ones. But 3 exotic caches for, what was that, a 30-40 minute run? That's not bad. Catharsis, Liberty, Vial. Actually, someone was saying the other day that the Catharsis is not in the general pool, but I just pulled it and I didn't do Season 9 on this character, so I think that disproves that. So there you go. 3 exotic caches for that. Adam, I'm kind of indifferent. Like, I was never the biggest Firecrest user back in Div 1. I think the version now is plenty strong because you still have a really good range. And the damage can still go up more because you can actually spec into status effects, unlike Div 1. So honestly, I just don't really care that much. I know some people are super opinionated one way or the other. It doesn't bother me too much either way. Okay, so Stinger Hive is something else we wanted to check. We could see if there's anyone in the DZ. I kind of doubt it, but you never know. Davis, you heading out. Have a fantastic rest of your day. Thank you for being here, hanging, chatting. Have a good one. And Vi joined Rogue Studios. Thank you so much. Welcome, welcome. You now have access to some cool emojis here on the channel. You get a badge next to your name. And if you want to join our Discord server, and you link your YouTube account, you will get access to the Rogue Studios channel. But thank you so much for supporting Vi. Appreciate it. My frames are dropping like crazy. All right. Without seeing them side by side, it's hard to say. But that definitely seems small. It is tier 1. So it'll go up, you know, the more you have. How much, though? That's what I don't remember. So the range goes from 5 to 25. So honestly, it's not going to get terribly much bigger. Probably, you know, a tier 6 would probably reach that tent over there, like the Sarah barrier. Tier 6 is like tier 2 now. Yeah. So it's definitely less range. Like I said before, I don't think that'll be insanely impactful. But, yeah. Let's put on, while we're in here, we can put on Perfectly Unstoppable Force. Because people wanted to see that. And we can run this here real quick. So we're doing Hunter's Fury, perfectly unstoppable force with the Ouroboros. You guys will get to see how crazy the gun is again. Says there's a drop, but there's definitely not a drop. So that's a bug. Might have to report that one. I'm not in combat, so I can't. Otherwise, I think I could shock myself and get shock ammo on it. But only the buff only works in combat. Matthew, I am indeed live. I mean, the truth with this is it's going to be hard to isolate perfectly unstoppable force because all these enemies are challenging and this thing is super strong anyway, but you can at least see it in action. Oh, this area famously has really bad frames, and so I was already losing frames, and now it's just even worse.
Contaminated gear detected. Detecting additional hostile contacts.
Alright, we're at max stacks on unstoppable force. Yeah, they just get shredded. There's no contest.
Incoming hostiles detected.
That's pretty wild. That was the boss. And there you go. It's gonna be Burst King, yeah.
Cleared.
Yeah, that thing's gonna be insane. So there you have it, people. I feel like that is the majority of the things to take a look at. We looked at all the new gear except for... Oh, the other high ends was what someone said. We do have a new weapon talent, which is stabilized, and this is the perfect version. It's basically just steady-handed, but a little bit different. You just get stacks when you shoot. So it becomes more stable. That's cool enough. Probably not going to be that used. But yeah. Unless anyone has any other questions. You're very welcome, Shade.
Leaving invaded dog zone.
Yeah, we took a look at all the new gear. Alright, so let's give the verdict, right, before I sign off here. Let's give the verdict of all this stuff. We took a look at Exuro, which I personally like a lot, and I'm really excited to get it on the live game where I can use Technician with it and do my own stuff. So that's a plus. The brand set is kind of meh. I just don't think it's going to be that used, but it's there. As far as exotics, the Ouroboros is a tank. It's a powerhouse. It's going to be really good. Good incentive for the incursion. The Iron Lung is cool. Still, I need to test it more over the course of the PTS. The Collector is kind of... It's cool in concept, but I don't think it belongs on a chess piece because it's just not worth giving up a talent over. New weapon talent's fine. Nothing too crazy. Stabilize. Unstoppable Force is going to be nice, but it is locked to the new brand, and I don't know if that's necessarily worth running over the normal. Descent change is fantastic. Rewards are better. Talent pool is better. There's better talents. So that's all good. Still no save and return, though. And the DZ change is really good. I mean, Stinger Hive 1 is a plus. The new chest is awesome at 170. So, yeah. Oh yeah, the Iron Lung looks really good. Like all the new designs. Oh, I didn't even show you guys. Look at the backpack for Xuro. Look at that. All the new designs this season are really good. This included both the 2 new exotics, everything. Art team is on fire. So, are the incursions on this PTS? They are not. The new incursion is being saved for launch day, so it's going to be a big surprise for everybody. Hey, Vicious, hope I'm saying your name right. Thank you for the kind words. I will absolutely stream more in the future. Usually I do a lot more than this. I've been having some technical issues lately, but by the release of Season 2, I hope to fix that up and be live more regularly again. So yeah, overall, happy with this stuff. I'm going to play it more over the weekend, give some feedback for the devs to work on. I will be doing videos. I'm going to do kind of a deep dive on Xuro, on Tip of the Spear, on the Ouroboros, other stuff like that. So stay tuned for those videos. Again, we also got the name of the incursion. It's pretty sweet. Paradise Lost, which is a badass name. I'm excited for it. So yeah. What's the change for the Tip of the Spear backpack? There you go. I mean, it's, you know, it's decent. Again, it's much more structured towards something like the minigun rather than the TAC 50. But yeah, folks, I think that's about it. Glad I finally got the stream running. Again, I greatly appreciate everyone's patience for the weird startup earlier. But we got to go, and we had a lot of people in here. We got over 150 likes. So thank you all so much for hanging out and for that. Greatly appreciate it. Yeah, videos coming over the weekend on the PTS for you guys to get more info, to get more of your thoughts, all that stuff. And then we're on the road to Season 2, which should drop. Season 1 ends in like 3.5 weeks. Just over 3 weeks at this point. So I'm kind of assuming Season 2 is going to go live right then. I would bet this is going to be the only phase of the PTS, because there's no content. It's kind of like Season 11 where it's just the gear to check out. We do have the descent changes, but I would guess this will be the only phase. But we'll find out. Either way, Season 2 drops in October. Got plenty of stuff to talk about before then. And appreciate you all being here for it. Again, everyone who gifted memberships, became a member, donated today, you all are awesome. I appreciate you endlessly. And to everyone who hung out, thank you, thank you. Giving your time is a lot to ask for, so I appreciate you being here. That said, if I can actually navigate over to my stream, that'll be it for me today. And like I said, plenty of content coming. I'll see you there. RogueGold, out.